Let's pick another point to keep on going. Let's go to joint 3. Okay, joint 3. Draw the joint itself, and then let's see what's happening. Well, there's 2 kips going down. There's an B inside, and there's F on the side, and there's E, and there's C. Okay, so thinking of the directions, let's see what we know. Well, we know that B is 0, so I can kind of just forget about that one for now. We know that C is in compression from before, so I can say that it is going into the point. And that's about it for now. Okay, so let's do some of the forces in the y direction are equal to 0. And let's see what our forces are. Okay, so we got CY, right? And we know that CY is going up, so that's why I can say it's positive, minus 2K. And then E, well, I'm not sure which direction it's going. I'm gonna guess that it's going, let's say I'll guess it's in compression. Okay. So I don't know if that's up, so I can say plus E. Okay. I'll substitute in what values I know. So I know that CY is 1.33. So 1.33K minus 2K plus E is equal to maybe 0.66K plus E. Move this 0.66 over and say that E is equal to 0.66K. And because the answer is positive, I know that it's my assumption was correct, and my assumption was that it's in compression. So I can write that. Compression. So box that answer, and I will color E red. Okay, let's see here. Let's say now let's do the X direction. Sum of the forces in the X direction are equal to 0. And that's going to be B, I'm going to say plus CX, right? Because this is the C is diagonal, it's pushing towards the right here, plus CX. And then there's F. I'm not sure what F is doing, but I'm thinking that my guess is going to be that it's in compression. That's my guess. Okay. So let's see. So that would put it going in the opposite direction of CX. So I can make it negative in the equation. Minus F. So 0 is equal to, we know B is 0, so I can say 0 for B, plus CX, which is 1.33 kips. We know that from before, minus F. Okay, and I can move F over and say that F is equal to 1.33 kips. And this is a positive answer, So it means that my assumption was correct. And my assumption was that F is in compression. Color it. Okay, good. Next, let's move on to joint 4. I'm gonna flip to another page here. So joint 4. It's gonna look, let's see what joint 4 looks like. Okay, so joint 4, let's see. Draw my dot first, and then I'm gonna say, here is E, there's D, there's G, and there's H. And personally, I like to hold off on putting my arrows until I know for sure or I'm making a guess. So I just left them as lines for now. But let's see about E. I think I know E. I know that E is in compression. So I can draw that here. E is in compression. And what else do I know? I know D is in tension, going away from the point. And I believe that's about it. Okay. So now I'm going to do the sum of the forces in the y direction is equal to 0, equal to, let's say, negative E, because it's going down, plus there's G, which is a diagonal number, and it has a Y component. So I can say plus GY. And we don't have any other forces in the Y direction. So I can say, move this E over and say that E is equal to GY, and E, as we know from before, is 0.66K. So I can say GY is equal to 0.66 kips. And I can also think about it and say that, well, GY needs to be, oh yeah, so my assumption here for GY, I made it positive. So I guess that means my assumption was that it is going up against E. And then I got a positive answer when I solved it. So that means my assumption was correct, and that G is going up, which means it's in tension. And means I can help relieve the tension. Okay, and then we can think about this triangle of G. It's like an imaginary triangle where this is G, GY, GX. And once again, there it's 45 degrees. So like before, if I want to get, so I can say that GX equal to GY is equal to 0.66K. And if I want to get G, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. gx squared plus gy squared equals g squared 0.66 squared plus 0.64 g squared total is going to be 0.44k plus 0.44k equal to g squared. G squared is equal to 0.88 square root G is equal to 0.93 kips. Okay. And then I know from, oh, whoops, I shouldn't have boxed this. Because that's only GY, that's not G. But I know from up here, GY was 0.66 and it was in tension. We found that that was the direction it was going in. So I know that G itself is in tension. So now we got that. Now next, let's do sum of the forces in the X direction equals 0. And that's going to be, let's see what we got here. We got negative D. I'm saying negative because it's going to the left. Then we've got plus GX. And then we got H. And I'm not sure which way H is going. Let's say H is in compression. So that would be minus H going to the left. Okay, we know that from before. Let's see here. D is equal to 1.33K. Let's say 0 equal to negative 1.33K plus, we know G of X is equal to 0.66K minus H. I can move H over and say that H is equal to negative 0.66. Okay. So I got a negative answer, which means that my assumption was wrong about the direction of H. I assumed that it was in compression, but I got a negative answer, so it must be in tension. Blue mark H. Okay, good. So we got joint 4 done.